Picture Election Day 2026. You're walking up to the ballot box, but the political math has shifted. The era of single-party dominance in local government is over. This chart tracks the rising tide of local election results over recent cycles. See this massive spike projected for 2026? That represents the vast majority of local councils becoming hung, meaning no single party will hold an absolute majority. In a hung council, your ballot functions as a strategic bet. You're wagering on a party's ability to negotiate within a fragile alliance. This forces a harsh decision. On one hand, you have the immediate, hyper-local reality, fixing the potholes, securing clean water, ensuring consistent electricity, and maintaining garbage collection. On the other hand, there is the pull of national politics, the broad ideological visions for wealth redistribution, state control, and historical redress. Political campaigns intentionally blur these lines. They sell you a grand national vision from a rally stage while glossing over whether their local representatives can actually run a municipal water treatment plant. Because campaign promises often mask local incapacity, voters have to look at past performance. The data on how a party actually managed its last budget tells a much clearer story than its current manifesto. We've compiled a neutral, 9-issue grading framework to evaluate these parties. Instead of campaign promises, this scorecard relies strictly on official Auditor General reports, clean audits, and proven service delivery up to April 2026. This flowchart breaks down voter priorities into 3 distinct profiles. Path 1 is the pragmatic voter. If you fit here, your primary concerns are clean municipal audits and baseline competence over strict ideological alignment. The second path represents the ideological voter. Here, the priority is aggressive state intervention and wealth redistribution. If you are on this branch, you are willing to tolerate some administrative friction to achieve those larger socioeconomic goals. The third path is the single-issue voter. You are driven by acute, immediate pain points. That usually means demanding strict law and order, cracking down on immigration, or securing specific community autonomy. Identifying which of these 3 profiles you belong to gives you a realistic filter. It lets you match what you actually care about with a party's proven municipal capabilities. Let's map these profiles to the parties. It starts in centralized assembly halls, where broad ideological state policies are debated and enacted. This brings us to the state and redistribution bloc, which includes the ANC, EFF, MK Party, and the SACP. The input for this bloc is clear. You are voting for aggressive historical redress, heavy state intervention in the economy, and expansive welfare programs. The outcome is a local government attempting to align itself with top-down national directives, like preparing for land expropriation and maintaining state monopolies over energy and utilities. Within this group, the EFF and the MK Party push the most radical socialist versions of these policies, despite having limited localized governance experience. This centralized approach requires top-down control to ensure national policies are followed locally. In practice, this often means appointing loyalists to key municipal positions, a process known as cadre deployment. We see the results of that deployment in the Auditor General trends from 2021 to 2026. Municipalities run by this bloc consistently show mixed audit results, frequent service delivery protests, and elevated levels of irregular expenditure. Choosing this bloc means accepting a significantly higher risk of municipal patronage. That is the necessary price you pay to pursue aggressive ideological transformation. Now let's look at the campaigns built specifically around localized rescue and administrative repair. This is the pragmatic and efficiency bloc, occupied by the DA, the new centrist merger Unite for Change, and the IFP. If you vote here, your input is a demand for local devolution. You are prioritizing free market economics, private-led growth, and strict merit-based hiring over political loyalty. This quadrant chart shows how those inputs yield results. The outcome gives voters the highest probability of clean audits and functioning infrastructure. The data backs this up. The DA has the strongest record of efficient delivery across Western Cape metros. The IFP shares this pragmatic approach. They have leveraged solid coalition experience to stabilize fractured councils across KwaZulu-Natal. That there is a clear trade-off. This bloc's strict reliance on market-driven solutions means their policies often explicitly oppose race-based economic empowerment frameworks like BBEE. A vote for this bloc means trading radical economic transformation for the strict prudence required to keep the lights on and the water running. Then there are the immediate street-level realities, the severe strain on services and lawlessness that push voters away from the major ideological debates entirely. This creates the disruptor and single-issue bloc, grouping together Action SA, the Patriotic Alliance, the Freedom Front Plus, and the ACDP. Your input here is a vote designed to force immediate action. You are demanding that acute local emergencies override broad national government's plans. The outcome is a council forced to place specific issues at the very top of the agenda, whether that means strict constitutional tightening, aggressive anti-corruption drives, or loud calls for mass deportations. Similarly, the Freedom Front Plus and the ACDP serve a disruptor function for their distinct bases, heavily emphasizing conservative values, federalism, and minority self-determination. The trade-off for this intense focus is structural rigidity. Taking uncompromising stances on single issues makes it incredibly difficult for these parties to negotiate within a diverse council. A disruptor vote ensures your specific grievance is loudly championed, but it carries the risk of creating severe administrative bottlenecks when forming a stable coalition government. This matrix maps out the reality of 2026. Because most councils will be hung, the party you choose will inevitably have to compromise with its rivals to govern your municipality. There is a high risk of council gridlock when left populist alliances form. If an ANC-EFF-MK coalition prioritizes ideological unity above all else, practical municipal execution often stalls. Let's map your choices. If you are a pragmatic voter, meaning clean tenders and functioning utilities are your strict priorities, your closest matches are the DA, Action SA, the IFP, or Unite for Change. If you are an ideological hodder and wealth redistribution and state control are non-negotiable, your choices align with the ANC, the EFF, or the MK party. And if you are a single-issue voter, where cracking down on crime and immigration supersedes all other concerns, Action SA and the Patriotic Alliance offer the firmest stances. In the 2026 municipal elections, campaign rhetoric will not fix a pothole or balance a budget. The most powerful vote you can cast is for the party whose actual, verifiable track record matches the trade-offs you are willing to make.